Mitch, you were a pretty fearless fast bowler, pretty aggressive at the bat, never used to lose your cool, but you were able to keep pace for long periods. What did you really enjoy about bowling?
Getting wickets.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I just, I love me bowling. Like, my object was to either knock the guy out or get him out. You know, I used to love hitting guys in the body. Yeah, no, I just, I love me bowling.
We shouldn't walk past your batting. You were one of those guys I sort of remember who used to hate getting out with a passion. So you absolutely valued your wicket. You featured in a big partnership as well in a game against Brunswick. Can you recall that one?
Yeah, I can. Not as good as G and Pusher, but yeah, as I recall, it was I went in at 9 for 100, and we made 170 odd. Like Eddie would have made most of them. He could crack the ball around. That was good. Yeah, and whether we won the game or not, I can't remember. But yeah, that was something special with the bat.
What was your best bowling performance?
I had a good game out at Coburg. We used to love beating Coburg. You'd be in that, like, next door neighbours, and they were always a bit prickly. We batted first and made 50 odd. I think Bobby's got the exact scores. The last couple of guys, which one of them would have been me, I overheard those guys up in the stand say, "Oh, that's the worst batting performance I've ever seen from a Preston team."
I remember that.
And I was fuming. Like, a few other people would have heard it. Bobby knows the names of those. Ken Weaver was one, and Des Heskett, old guys that used to play with Coburg. So anyway, yeah, we've gone in to change over, and I don't even think I sat down. I was just I was ropeable. You know, I just wanted to get at them, and yeah, we've gone out there, and Eddie and myself have got 5 each, and once again, Bobby 20 something.
27, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, we rolled them for 27. Yeah. And then in the second dig, I got 8, and I think Eddie got the other 2, but 13 for the match was, that's pretty special.
I think that we had a few sarcastic comments after that game.
What, from Coburg?
No, from us.
Coburg, they knew how to do sarcastic. But yeah, no, it's always good beating them, and yeah, no, that was a great win. Yeah.
Bobby, you played in a couple of big finals. First one to talk about was the one at Elstonwick where we played Ormond, which was the premiership game. What's your recollections of that game?
We'd had a good win against Brunswick the week before, which was the group final, and Brunswick were a very, very strong side. Had Nookie Swanson, Blair Elias, Tom O'Neill, plus a lot of others. Trivett was a bowler, very quick, and it was a difficult wicket. We made 250, which is a pretty good score.
Did you get many that game?
I got a 50, and then I think we had them 4 for 6. Stickman Dave Jeffrey just went through them. And we rolled them for about 80. Dave got 5 for 17. So we probably had a very strong side going in the final. So it was at Elstonwick over Easter, 3-day final. We get there and the wicket is an absolute shocker, a real shocker. You could even tell just by looking at it. So they batted first, and Dave Jeffrey was the man. And he did his backing, probably the first or second over. And I blame Garry for that. Garry was filling in leg slip. There was Mike Patterson, the bloke had made the run. He snicked it to Garry and he dropped it. And Dave Jeffrey went, "Oh no," and went down on and he hurt his back. So he had to go off. I don't think he bowled again in the game. So
would Lee believe that? I don't think so.
What
actually happened, Lee, is I saved 2 runs for starters. Okay? Cut off a certain 2.
You dropped the bloke who batted for about 2 hours. The stickman went off, and Eddie, Garry, and I think Gary Haregate toiled away, but we just could not get him out. The ball was running along the ground. This Mike Patterson, he didn't have many shots, but he kept blocking the ball, defence. And they made about, 120, which is a bloody good effort on that track. And I think we made about 80. And then second innings, we had them 8 for 70 in the second dig, and it poured rain at about 2 times, so they called it off.
Now,
So,
that 8 for 70, I'm sure Stickman got bowled then, got 8.
Well, I've got all the annual reports from those days, and I've looked it up, and he's got 8 for in the second innings out of 8. Now,
yeah,
we'd have to ask Stickman then. I don't think he bowled again because it's only 2 days later.
Yeah.
I had to look up the annual report. So that was really disappointing because we're a good side and they were a good side too. But I think they had Alan Doble, who was a great bowler, great fast bowler. But he couldn't get anything out of the wicket either. It was the other bloke at the other end, Chapman, who played for North Melbourne. He just got it to run along the ground all day and was bowling blokes and getting them LB. It was a terrible wicket.
Garry, you occasionally bowled some long spells. There was one spell out at Balwyn. It was a little bit warm that day, and you probably bowled a few more than 20 overs for the day, or was it closer to 30?
I think it was bowled about 24 or 25 8-ball overs, and it was the hottest day ever recorded on Earth, I think. I think it was. It was so hot. I don't know, it must have been about 39.
Mm-hmm.
In those days, you didn't walk off or, drinks or anything like that. You just had to cop it. And the reason I bowled those overs, and I hope he's watching too, due to Gary Halgate. I'd been out with the boys the night before, and he wasn't a well man when he got to the ground. And we were bowling, and he bowled his first over, and I was right beside Dick Telford when he came up to Dick Telford and said, "I can't bowl anymore, I'm that crook." And Dick Telford, he never gets angry, but he said, "Pissed off, down to fine leg and stay there." And Harry Galgate stayed at fine leg for the rest of the day. Dick never spoke to him, hardly anyone spoke to him. And it made me and Eddie bowl and Donny Hudson bowl all day in that heat.
Yeah.
And we got up and I think we won by 3 runs. Eddie did the damage after tea. He got about...
He cleaned up.
Yeah, that was hot. That was the hottest day of all time.
Yeah. Did you bowl quick that day, Garry?
Well, never bowl quick.
Remember, there was a strong northerly wind too, which topped it off.
Yeah.
Falling ground, all the wind just blows straight down there. Luckily, I had the wind, so I was up to almost medium pace. It was good, yeah.
It would be remiss with talking to you guys that we didn't talk about Eddie. You knew him when he first came down and were there for most of his career, certainly the career part that he was in his prime. What's your recollections, Mitch?
Oh, Eddie's a great bloke. When I had to be driven everywhere as a 16-year-old, I became Eddie's chauffeur in a way, but he never held a licence. But I used to pick him up all the time, every game. I played I would like to know how many games I opened the bowling with Eddie, but a lot. I can't remember a day he didn't get wickets. He was phenomenal. Another good part about Eddie was after the game. He was a good drinker, but he loved the beer. Someone once said that he looked more like Demos Rouzos than what he did himself. He didn't really have the body for, to look at him, this guy can't play cricket, but bloody hell, he could play cricket. Yeah, champion bloke.
Were you with him the night he got locked in the grandstand bar at, I think it might have been Doncaster?
I was there, Lee, yes.
Where?
Rather large night.
Yeah. They sort of left and gave you virtually keys and
gave us the key.
Door to the bar.
Myself, Eddie, there was someone else, and there was the umpire, Brian Robinson.
Okay.
Don't forget me, I was there.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Scratch.
And Trevor Staples. Good old Trev was there too.
Yeah.
And they gave us, we got to go, and they give us the keys to lock up.
Yeah.
That was a big day.
Eating black jelly beans, drinking beer.
What's your memory of Ed? Mine? Yeah.
Eddie came when Potter came, along with a lot of other blokes. When his first 3 years, Eddie he's not like he is now or was later in his career. He was a very fit guy. He was a good footballer at Marsden College, apparently. He'd just bowl all day. And he'd get to training and he'd bowl and bowl and bowl. Same length. And he'd do the same in a match. And in his first couple of years, he would make 40s and 50s at handy time batting at number 6. He's a pretty good batsman, Eddie. But later, well, probably his 4th year, he just went off batting. He just didn't like it and just didn't make any runs. But he just used to bowl and bowl and bowl. And we used to play social cricket down for the Masonics down in Coburg Oval. And I kept one day and Eddie bowled and he was making the ball talk. He was swinging it both ways, cutting it both ways. He was a magnificent bowler, Eddie. He really was. And a good bloke to boot and a Fitzroy supporter as well.
Garry, who was the best player you played with? Present company excluded.
The best player I would say would be Dave Jeffrey. He could destroy sides. You know, I've seen him get 7 wickets. I've seen him get 8 wickets, and he just took sides apart. Very dangerous on a green track. He could knock your head off. But he was only down there for 3 years. But gee whiz, if you get 70 wickets at an average of 9 or 8 or 9 in sub-district, you're doing well. He was relentless on his day, and he had backup like Eddie, you know, which was fantastic. And we were probably spoiled to have those two in the side. As you know yourself, Lee, keeping to him and Eddie.
Yeah, plenty of catches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just. And I used to field in strips a lot beside you, and they used to move the ball around all the time. Those blokes. Yeah, and the ball used to come through to you, didn't it? Really fast and off the stick, man. Yeah,
it certainly did.
But he would have to be the best bowler. Apologies to Ed. It's just a one-off, you know. I remember when Eddie first came down at Preston, he came down with a bloke called Mark Luby. Played in our first also. And I remember the days Eddie drank Coca-Cola. He did.
Was he in kindergarten then?
I think he went to kindergarten. But no, he drank Coca-Cola. Yeah. And then he discovered beer, and that was it.
Mitch, who did you enjoy playing against? And who was the best batter you bowled to?
I used to like playing against Caulfield with the Sheehan's. Like Jackie Sheehan was he's a good fella. Bowling wise, way back in those teams, their teams in the 60s, they had a bloke by the name of Len Peterson. Played with North Melbourne. He was pretty quick and mean. And I'd like to think I might have picked up a couple of things from him, but yeah, he was a good bowler. I've got to make mention of a hand, Johnny Bingham. You probably would have been playing this game too. It was down at Preston against Altona. It was a final. We were 3 for practically nothing, and Bingo made a big 100, and we finished up 280 or something and won the game. But that was one of the best. You remember Johnny?
I do.
Yeah, he was just strong. His forearms. He just another game down at Preston. He first over of the day, Paul McGinney from Brunswick is bowling from the market end, and Bingo's faced up, and I think he hit 3 4s and a 6. First over of the day, one of them hit the side. It was a cover drive. It hit the side wall of the council club, and he went out on the last ball of the over. So we're 1 for 18. Off 1 over. Another guy, opposition, we're out at Croydon one day, and this guy that used to play with Melbourne, Evian Williams, he took us apart, like even Eddie as well. Like, yeah, that was a hard day. Yeah, I only played against him the once, but Evian Williams, yeah, good player. And of course, with us, like, I mean, I didn't see enough of Jack Potter, but obviously he stands out. You know, I would like to play a bit with him, more with him, and yeah, he's a pretty good player. Made it look easy.
Well, between the three of you, you probably had close to 50 years at Preston. What's your fondest memories, sort of looking back, about the club? Bobby?
Probably the main thing was the culture of the club. We went down there as young blokes, but we were lucky enough to already know a few people there. But any young guys that came down were always sort of welcomed informally. They're always part of the group. The first through to the fourth were always friendly, always good mates. Even now, look, Gary Scratch and I played golf regularly with Steve Hillam, Trevor Staples, Scooter Hayden. We're all pretty good mates. We still catch up with, Tony Garnett, Dennis Davey, all these blokes. So we've remained friends for all that time. But with the club, everyone sort of knew everyone else. There was never any arguments club-wise that I can ever remember, and I was there for 18 seasons. But the main thing was the culture of the club, and it was well managed. We always had strong presidents and strong secretaries. And I just made a list of them the other day, that the people that have been in charge from when I was there. Right. Stan Norris was the president when I first went there, and Riley Millen was secretary for a lot of years. And he was a real powerhouse, Riley. I think he might have been one of the guys that got Potter there. We also had Dick was then become sort of president, secretary, whatever, and he's been a constant forever. He's still there. And what he's done for that club is unbelievable. Cole Miller was president. Steve Hillam was president, secretary, treasurer for lots of years and played a lot of years. Jimmy Lawrence, another mate of ours, was treasurer for a lot of years. Knackers, we speak about Knackers a lot. He was on the committee, treasurer, because he was an accountant. And then in later years, Gus Wilson, Sean Harrison and Gary Robinson, who's been around, those three guys have been around a long time. And I'm not forgetting Peter Jones, because he was president for a while. But what Peter and his wife did for that club was just unbelievable. All the work they did. We'd walk in of a Saturday and we wouldn't have to do anything. Peter would have it all set up, all the cordials. He'd have chewies for you. He'd have everything. He'd have wet towels and whatever. And June was the scorer. She'd do everything. And that was for a long time. Plus, we always had a strong ladies committee. We always had a strong ladies committee, and we're sort of renowned around sub-district. We had the best afternoon teas, and we did by a mile, and that was thanks to the ladies. So they were really strong. But no, it's just a well-managed club, good culture. And, even to this stage, you can go to a reunion, you talk to a bloke you haven't seen for 30 years, and you just pick up like it was yesterday talking to him. But no, a great club, a really great club.
Mitch, what's your memories of the club in a summary?
Oh, look, that was excellent, Bob. Covered everyone, and I just we were talking yesterday, Bobby and me, and we just said we got to mention the Joneses. Peter sadly's not with us anymore, and June is still talking. She's a marvel. So they were just very special people, and Dick was he was the headmaster sort of thing. But when Bob started off there, when he said that from the first of the force, no one was talked down to. We all were a club. When the three of us got there, whether it was because of our age or not, I just felt as if there was the first, because there was guys like Bill Lewin and Ray Harvey, and they seemed like really older people to us, because we're only 16-year-olds. And but it was the first and everybody else to me. That might be a bit unfair, but after we were there initially for a few years, and there's the Johnny Morgans, Bobby's brother, and Dennis he mentioned before, and different guys, Knackers and guys like that, Bagsy, don't forget Bagsy. It just become a big family. It was a real family. They talk about Hawthorn, the family club. Well, I could put my hand up for Preston there. I reckon great club, red and white, best.
And Gary?
Oh, look, Bob, they both hit it on the nail there, mate. Just one of those clubs that you sort of want to be involved with. We started off young, and it was true from the first to the fourth to the fifths. Everyone knew each other. Everyone talked to each other at training. There was no one better than anyone else. And you might know this, Lee, talking about Dick Norris. Is it true that Dick Norris played in the very first game Preston played in? Is that right? That's a rumour.
I think I remember it. He had a beard.
It was a dark one. He was a bit heavier, was he?
Okay. I was referring to W.D. Grace, whatever his name was, the first bloke.
I just wonder. I thought he might have known.
Okay, no, I don't know offhand, but he was there in 1947. I know that.
Not 1860.
Well, he may have been very old in 1947.
Yeah, 1947. No, but just a great club, and still is.
He was just a father figure to the younger blokes. You know, everyone looked up to him, and he hasn't got a harsh word to say about anyone. He's just top bloke.
Well, guys, we'll finish up on that note. It's just been absolutely wonderful. You are and were the heart and soul of the club. Loved it with passion, played hard, and with great success. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure people who don't know you will really appreciate this discussion.